Welcome back to the channel. We have so much stuff to tell you. My God, so much has happened since the last time we saw you. Upgrades to vans, dropping off vans, plan changes, twists, turns, festivities, sadness, like loads. I'm really going to try and condense it down into a small video for you. So carry on watching and we will reveal all. If you're new around here or if you're not, welcome back to the channel. We are full-time van lifers and we have just gotten back from the Wild Atlantic Way in Ireland. And the Wild Atlantic Way is the longest coastal road in the world. Our main reason for going over there wasn't to do the Wild Atlantic Way, it was to retrace some of Janine's roots. She's half Irish, her mum's fully Irish, and Janine knew diddly squat about the Irish culture, apart from what her mum's told her. So it was such a pleasure for me as her husband and life partner to go over there with her and see Ireland with a whole new, fresh new pair of eyes. Janine went when she was a baby, so she never really, as far as she's concerned, she's not really seen it. So it was an magical trip, and if you haven't seen that series, I'll make sure we link it in the description. We got more than we bargained for. It was absolutely out of this world. What Janine managed to unearth with regards to finding her roots was spectacular. So many circumstances happened that made us get more than what we wanted and more than what we hoped for, and Janine is now like every single time that we do these travels, and they have so much meaning behind them, Janine and myself, it changes our lives dramatically, and it changes everything that we do from that point onwards. It changes the choices that we make. It changes the way that we decide to live our lives, and that was a big life changer for us. So yeah, please go and watch that. If you haven't seen it, we actually did it all in a VW T6 camper van, which was a rental. The reason why we rented it was because our camper van, Morgan, which is a removals camper van conversion, was too heavy to take to Ireland. There's so many things that have changed with that. I've got to update you on in a minute, which I will do. But yeah, Janine actually drove the camper van back to the Cotswolds where we rented it from, and it's the first time she's driven a van ever, I think, and she did a really good job. She didn't crash it into anything. It was like a duck to water. It was like riding a bike. She can drive. She doesn't want to drive our camper van that we live in because it's just too big and she's not interested in it, which is fair enough. But the other thing that happened with that camper van was that we damaged it. Or we didn't damage it, it was an accident. But as you saw on the series, we had a crack on our windscreen. We still don't know how that crack came about, and it grew and grew and up to the point where it's probably about 50 centimeters long. But we took it back to the people we rented it from, and they were absolutely fine with it. We cleaned it all up, everything's good. Happy days. The other thing that happened whilst we was in Ireland, which I just touched upon, was we went to Janine's mum's village in Ireland, and we made a video about it. And Janine's mum hasn't been there for 60 years, so we believe. And to come back and to hear her reactions to that video, she was over the moon about it. She was so happy with it, and including her sisters as well, so Janine's aunties. We were just so pleased to be able to make a video that the whole family have really enjoyed. That was a nice welcome back. So yeah, after seeing Janine's family, who are also based in the Cotswolds, we managed to absolutely make it to the vegan Campout festival. It was so friggin' tight, but we got back in time. It was worth coming back from Ireland for. It was a shame to cut Ireland short. We spent the best part of a month over there, but we're looking forward to going back to Ireland. Anyway, vegan Campout Festival, we go every year. It's in July. It was the best year ever there, and we saw Ramesh Ranganathan, we saw DJs that we love, artists that we love, saw Sam Ryder for the first time. If you don't know who Sam Ryder is, Google him. He's the Eurovision almost winner. It's come the closest out of anybody in a very long time. But he put on like a Freddie Mercury style performance there. There was just so much to do and so much to see and so many things to listen to and so much entertainment. What was funny, we went with 10 non-vegans, and we had the best time ever. You know, you can't complain of the food there and the entertainment. It is now, and it has been, our staple summertime thing to do. Wherever we are in the world, I think we're always going to come back to Vegan Campout Festival. It is so good. We recommend anyone going. We'll see you there every year if you want to come, and we'll leave the information to that in the description to this video. At the Vegan Campout Festival, it's very important for us to start looking forwards to what we're going to be doing next, planning the rest of this year, planning next year. To let you know right now, what we're planning on doing eventually is taking Morgan, our removals camper van conversion, into Europe for the second time. The first time was a bit of a disaster. If you watch the channel regularly, you'll know that we managed to make it as far as Munich in Germany to Oktoberfest, but so many things went wrong. And to be honest with you, the whole time that we were in Europe last summer, I think India was calling us, and we probably should have gone to India. But we had such a good time at Oktoberfest. We learned a lot about Morgan. We learned a lot about Europe. It was definitely the right decision to come back. But what we want to do next time we go into Europe is we want to go there for the long run, as in like enter Europe at the start of the year and stay there. So we are planning on doing that. We've got a few things to get ready for to do that. One of them is we want to take some other form of transport as well as having our camper van, i.e. some bicycles. We're probably the only van lifers without bloody bikes on the back of our van. The reason being is because we've had so much going on with just the actual camper van itself, we haven't thought about the extras. But it is within our thinking to do that. So we got sent a e-bike through for the very first time. Never been on an e-bike before, never knew what they were like. We wanted to get one for Janine. This one that we got is a step through one, so easy to mount, easy to dismount. So we got an e-bike through. It's for Janine to try out. It's called the Kommoda Cyrusher. Can't pronounce that next bit. Anyway, she picked it because it looks badass. It looks really, really good. Janine's had a really, really good time practicing on this bike, on her first e-bike. She's besotted with it. The things that we love about this e-bike is that, and why it's a potential sort of new family member for us, is not just how good it looks, but it's got proper fat tyres on it. So if there's any potholes in the road, Janine's going to find them and break the bike. This thing has got front suspension, back suspension, fat tyres on it. So it's built up for, it's ready for Janine. It's quite heavy, but I think it warrants it with how sturdy it is. It's got a 50-mile range on it as well. So whether I choose to have an e-bike or not, Janine can definitely keep up with me with either power assisted or just being able to go. I think it goes like 15 miles an hour because it's restricted for the UK. In other countries, it can definitely do more, but for the UK, it definitely goes as fast as Janine would want it to. It's got a 250-watt motor, a 672-watt-hour battery, and it's just powerful. It's just really, really good. Janine's been having such a good time on it. This is what Janine says about the bike.
Do you lie awake at night? Are you afraid to turn out the lights? Is there something you're scared of?
Right, it's your go, Janine. Have a go.
I don't know how to.
Yeah, we'll jump on.
Okay. I've never ever driven an electric bike before, so do I just go when it starts up?
Yeah, should do.
It starts doing it for me.
It assists you with when you're pedaling.
Okay.
Oh, the stand. Don't forget the stand. Yeah, good call.
Right. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
It's blooming badass though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever happens, it looks awesome. Okay, so let's give it a go. Oh my god. Ooh. Ah! Oh my god.
You got to pedal, Janine. Where's Janine? Where's Janine gone? Where has she gone?
For things to run away from. Are you just hiding? Walking into the fire.
How was it?
Oh my god, that was really good actually. It was quite scary to start with because you put one pedal down and you fly. You absolutely fly, and I've never had that before. Yeah, I'm just not used to it, but it was brilliant. I went all the way up there, around the block, and up a hill, and I didn't have to strain myself really getting up the hill. So yeah, that was amazing. This is a banging bike. Okay, so there's normal, high, power, and eco setting. I've done normal one. I can't imagine what power's like, but I'm gonna go for high now because I haven't got the guts to do power. So let's go.
Best of luck.
Oh, normal was fast.
Go for it. The stand?
Huh?
Have you kicked the stand back?
Stand
Yeah,
back
okay, just checking. Go for it.
Oh, I'm scared. Ah! Oh, I didn't like that.
Don't go off for too long this time, sweetheart. Come back.
Take me anywhere but here. Anywhere but here.
Really? Oh my god. That is really fast. That's amazing. I'm so impressed with this. I actually really like the fat tyres and I love the colour. The colour is awesome. Yeah, I really like it.
So if we want to take bikes and extra stuff onto our camper van that we live in, then we need to make sure that Morgan is at the correct weight. For many of you who follow the channel, you know the issues we've had with the weight of our van. In fact, every single person I come across who drives a large vehicle, a large camper van, large motorhome, whatever, seems to have some sort of weight issues or weight on their mind. So we join the long queue of people who have these issues. Our particular one is obviously that Morgan is rated to, so legally rated to 3.5 tonne. I think you're allowed to go to 5% above that, so it really doesn't leave much window for extra weight. With Morgan being overweight, or any vehicle being overweight, it's actually illegal and there's fines and all sorts of stuff that goes on. So we've got to get it sorted, especially if we want to go into Europe and have long journeys without any hassle whatsoever. So to start moving this process forward, I started researching it, and what I've got to do to change that, because I took my car license in 2000 and whatever, it means that I can only drive up to 3.5 tonne. So I knew eventually I would have to get a brand new license, something that I was reluctant to do because I just don't want to take another license, motor license again test. It was a nightmare the first time. I didn't want to do that. So actually, as a stroke of luck, because of the crisis since COVID, the HGV drivers and Brexit and all that sort of stuff, the government were planning on making everybody with a car license be able to drive up to 7.5 tonne, which would mean a huge step of the next process would be taken away from me because I'd get it for granted. So we reached about October time last year, which was around the time that the government was supposed to be making the decision on whether they were going to do it or not. And it looked like it was going to happen. So with some help of some friends, Neil, Urban Van Life, and Sean, Mule Vans, we actually uprated the vehicle mechanically. And all that involved was buying some heavy duty leaf springs. They cost a few £100 and putting them onto the van. In anticipation, ready for it. Turns out that the government didn't get around to do it. We're still, 8-9 months on. They've still not done it. It doesn't look like they're going to do it. So we rated the vehicle without getting the C1 license. The actual heavy duty leaf springs, given the name, were actually heavier than what I thought they might be. And it took the vehicle to a place where it's so easy to go overweight. So it was quite a predicament to be in. Anyway, as many of you guys know, we went to India at the end of last year for many different reasons. One of them being that our engine blew up and we needed a new engine. It was winter time. Janine gets sort of ill in winter for some reason. We think it's the damp and the cold. So many reasons to go to India, so that's exactly what we did. We had the best time ever. We left Morgan stored somewhere safely, actually hoping that when we returned, that the government will have gotten round to giving the C1 license to everyone for free. Who's got a car license. We came back from India and they didn't do that. So when we came back from India, first thing that I started doing was start applying for the C1 license. And that involves, won't go into all the boring details. The first thing to do is to get your provisional. You need a health check and various other things. You get the provisional through the post, takes a little while in the post to get. Once you got your provisional, you take your theory tests. I took my theory test before we went to Ireland. I passed all of them. There's basically 2 theory tests and 1 hazard perception test. Really super annoying to do. Passed those before Ireland, but I didn't get round to passing the practical. I had a nightmare before going to Ireland, which was only recently, obviously. I did lessons for the practical, so driving a large vehicle and doing manoeuvring and driving around in urban environments safely and all the rest of it, a bit like taking your car license again. The day before the actual test, the vehicle that I was planning to do the test in, which was an Iveco that was with the company that I'd chosen, the brakes bust on it. So before going to Ireland, I didn't get a chance to actually do my practical test. We go to Ireland for the best part of a month, we come back, and of course we went to vegan Campout, and of course the first thing I did was book onto that C1 practical just to get it done and hopefully pass it. I decided to take the C1 practical in a place called Swindon, which is in Wiltshire, near Gloucestershire. You might think that might be an alright place to do it, but actual fact, they've got something there called the Magic Roundabout. The Magic Roundabout, as by the name, a roundabout system that there's only 2 of them in the whole of the UK, so I believe. And if you're not used to it, it's a bloody nightmare. Which, if you think about a pattern of roundabouts all joined together and everybody swirling around them in what's supposed to be a correct manner that everybody knows, it's not like that at all. If you're not used to it, it is a nightmare. I was sort of hoping that the driving instructor on the day would take pity on me, which I've heard that they actually do, because I'm an out-of-towner, and not take me through the magic roundabout. So I was sort of relying on that a little bit, but actual fact, on the test day, everything was going sort of quite well on the actual test until I saw the sign for the magic roundabout approaching, and I thought, you've got to be kidding. I even said to the instructor, I was sort of banking on you not taking me over this. Anyway, the magic roundabout comes about. He says, can you go right on this magic roundabout? I absolutely ballsed it up. I went the wrong direction across the wrong roundabout, and I probably switched a few lanes as well. And in my head, I thought, well, that's gonna be a fail for sure, along with other minors that I would have had, because I did all of this quite quickly. And when it came to him telling me whether I passed or failed, I was sat there thinking, this is probably 60-40 against me here. But he actually said I passed. I was over the moon. I couldn't believe it. Actually, I want to give a big shout out to the company that I took the C1 license with. I thoroughly recommend Jack there. He's so friggin' patient. With all the things that happened, he booked me in last minute, everything. It was so good, and I passed. So there's nothing more to be said than that. The proof is in the pudding. I'll leave the link and his details in the description of this video as well, because if you're in the same predicament, please go check him out. Okay, so C1 license in hand. The next thing to do when you uprate your vehicle is get it uprated officially on paper. So mechanically we're uprated. We've got the heavy duty leaf springs. All I had to do was prove that I've bought these heavy duty leaf springs and they're actually on the vehicle. The next stage is to go through all the forms. There's quite a few forms to fill out, a lot of paperwork, a bit of money, all that sort of thing. The company that we went to, I will also leave in the description of this video, because they were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant. They spelled it all out. They even gave me advice on the C1 license stuff, which was priceless. So please, if you're going through all of this uprating stuff, please just go over to the description of the video. It's all there for you. Contact them. D Fawn, his name is. Very, very good bloke. So I filled out all the forms, sent them off. The last form to fill out is, you obviously got to change your V5C booklet to say that it's now a 4.1 ton, which is what we've uprated it to. And you get a little plaque that you put in your engine to go over the one that you've already got to say that it's now a 4.1 ton. All that stuff is good, but unfortunately, the waiting time for the V5C booklet is like 30 to 40 business days. So we're looking at like 2 months, maybe, before we get it back. Or close, 6 weeks, I don't know, something around that time. It's a long time anyway, but we'll get to that in a minute, because we need to discuss that about what we're going to be doing moving forwards. Anyway, Janine's birthday was approaching recently, so that was another big thing that we had to do. We decided, actually, when we were in India, we met some people at the ashram that we stayed at when we were studying to be yoga teachers, who said, oh, you've got to go to this festival called Medicine Festival when you're back in the UK, if you're back in the UK in the summer. It is incredible. You must go. The twist on this festival that we were going to was that it's a booze-free and alcohol-free festival. It's also, I believe, the UK's longest summer festival as well. It goes on for like 5 or 6 days. We were a bit unsure whether we wanted to go to it because, you know, we've never been to an alcohol-free festival. Not that we depend on alcohol to have a good time, but when we go to festivals, we do like to have a drink. I think most people do. But the guy, Mikey, said, you must go to this. Trust me, you'll see when you get there. So we thought, oh, well, it's on Janine's birthday. We'll go and do that. The next thing that we did after all of this, we've had a really busy time, was go to Medicine Festival. Turned up on the Wednesday, left on the Monday, and it was absolutely, by far, the best festival I have ever been to. I was so unsure about whether to take... I was thinking about sneaking alcohol in there, like a box of wine or something, just in case it was rubbish, and having a drink round the camper van would be the way forwards, but decided not to, and I really am pleased that we didn't do that. The reason being is it's the first alcohol-free festival we've been to. When you go to alcohol festivals, the reason why it's good to drink is because everybody's drinking. So there's like a vibe of drinking, partying. It's quite... A lot of the festivals I've been to a lot of music festivals, they're quite crazy, especially as the evening goes on, because everybody's drinking and getting smashed. This festival, imagine a festival going there where no one's drinking. The vibe is completely different, and I've got to say, I might even prefer it. It is just, I don't know what it is. It's light, it's respectful, it's kind more than anything. It's clean. Everyone was walking sort of like barefoot. It's a proper hippie festival. In fact, it's so hippie that clothing was optional. So there was a lot of nakedness there. Not by us, although I've got absolutely nothing wrong with it whatsoever. But yeah, it's that sort of festival, but so nice. Taking nothing from the place. It was at Wasing Estate near Reading. Absolutely the most beautiful site we've ever been to. Limited numbers. I think there was only 5,000 to 7,000 people there. So it was an intimate gathering. Saw people we knew, people we didn't know. But the whole thing, he said, it's called a festival, so people know to book into it. But it's actually more of a ceremony. From the moment you arrive to the moment you finish, it sort of goes like that. And, you know, with how your energy goes. There's huge parties in the evening, like rave type parties. At the end of the rave type party, they take you on a big, deep Aboriginal sort of ceremony. So you go into the dream state, so you feel like sleeping. When you start off the day, you go to breath workshops, yoga, circus type workshops, all sorts. They've got, like, literally one of the biggest things about it, it's a tribal gathering. So they've got people from tribes from the Amazon wandering around there, sort of just amongst people. And for that reason, it's absolutely beautiful. There's a lot I could say about Medicine Festival. I'm not going to say it now because you've got to see it to believe it, and my words won't do it justice. We had the best celebration for Janine. Janine, I wanted to get a present for Janine for her birthday that was different, that was unique, that showed how much I loved her, and sort of like really, really special one. So she said how much she liked this artist, can we say, jeweller online, who's actually based in America. And she makes custom jewellery. And so she mentioned in passing how much she likes them. So I contacted this woman, SOLRAYZ Jewellery, most amazing person, really, really kind. And we had so many conversations, and I spoke about Janine. And I said, so Janine, when she went to India, she got told by many different people, wise people, other people, healers, that her heart's blocked. Her heart chakra's blocked. Whether you believe that or not, Janine's wanted stuff around her that opens up the heart chakra, opens up the heart. So I contacted this person in America and said, could you make me for my wife, make a heart chakra opening pendant to go around her neck? And she does it out of semi-precious stones that are related to the heart chakra or any chakra. She makes them, they're only one of a kind, very, very custom, bespoke, and she does it intuitively as well. So she sort of tries to tap into what Janine wants, even though she doesn't know Janine, what she might like, and she uses gold and silver and jewels over it. And she came up and she managed to she sent it just in time for Janine's birthday, and I managed to give it Janine on his birthday, and she was over the moon with it. It's I think it's a malachite stone with a wolf pendant, which is obviously really, really strong sort of symbolism, with moonstones over it and gold and silver all intermingled. It was a one-of-a-kind present. I can't recommend the woman enough. I know we're sort of giving a shout out to a lot of people, but she is amazing. If you've got a loved one that you've got a special birthday coming up, I will leave the link and details of this person in the description. She posts all over the world. You are giving someone a gift, a one-of-a-kind gift, and I just can't recommend it enough for something very, very heartfelt. Okay, there's two more things I want to tell you. The last one is about the plans. The first one is about Morgan again, our camper van. We've actually updated Morgan since we've been back. Some major updates that I need to tell you about. You can't see right now, but I'm actually sat in a new sort of back of Morgan. We've sort of redesigned him a little bit, and we're friggin' so happy we did. Can you guess what we've taken out of this? Yes, we've taken out the log burner. The log burner is now gone. The reason being was because I bought the log burner. I wanted the log burner in the van because our previous van, the transit van that we had just a diesel heater in it. And during winter time, we had so many diesel heater issues that we were cold a lot in the minus temperatures. Janine was getting quite sick on her chest as well. And I thought if we ever get another van, which we ended up doing, I need an alternative heat source in there for these, in case this happens again. Because if we would have had a fire there, we wouldn't have had the problems that we had during that winter, not last winter, the winter before. And so that's why we got the log burner. Turns out that we haven't used the log burner as much as we wanted to, and it's taking up quite a lot of space as well. There's a whole section from it, and it's on top of, there's a load of plumbing and stuff that it's on top of that makes the plumbing really difficult to get to as well. So space and all that sort of business. The other reason was that the back of our van, we sort of really prioritised the kitchen space. We've got a really nice kitchen space, as you know, big worktop, and the sink and the shower and stuff. But actually, our social area, as we call it, the sitting area, the dining room, the lounge, isn't that great. So we've always sort of had that as a compromise. But you know, when you're living in a van full time, and we've been in van life for over 2.5 years now, full time, the social space is one of the most important spaces for us now. So if we thought if we could actually make an actual sort of really nice sitting area in the back of the van, then why not? Let's do it. So with help from Harry at Supermoon Campers, someone else that I'm actually recommending, and his link description is in in this video. He's based down south in Sussex. Go check him out. He built our first van. We've remained friends. He's done so much work for us over the years. We love him. He's very, very good joiner, especially. He makes very good vans. Go check him out. Anyway, he ripped out the log burner, filled in the hole in the roof, and helped us build a seating area. We've got a new table now that sort of hooks into the back walls as well, so that it's dead sturdy. We've got a new back seat as well that wasn't there before. That's a fixed seat with extra storage. And we've got a lengthened sofa, which is what I'm sitting on very comfortably right now. It's brilliant. We can have people round now. We can sit 6 people in the back of our van comfortably. Probably 4 people to have food, to have meals and what have you. But most importantly, the 2 people that are living in this van, me and Janine, we've got the most comfortable seating area now. We've even went to, because we needed new cushions for this area, we thought, why not, let's get some whole new upholstery for the back of the van. So we've got some brand new fabric that's really, really nice. We've got backing to against the wall now. And it's just a really, really nice sofa area that's so comfortable whilst you're slouching, editing videos, got people around. It's the best. And we've got a few more different sort of organising sort of areas around. We've got a new stereo that's only a 65 quid job off Amazon, but it's one of the loudest stereos I've ever heard. And we've got some organisers attached to the wall for different things, so when we're driving around corners, not everything's thrown over the floor, which our cutlery used to get thrown everywhere when we were driving around corners. It's just a much nicer van to be in now. And we're at a point where we're feeling like he's almost finished, Morgan, which is really good. So after everything we've been through with this van, inside and out, engine, the back of this, all of the things we've had to change and do and all that sort of business, all the leaks that we've had, we just feel like now, actually, it's ready. It's almost ready. Only thing we're waiting for is the V5C booklet to come back. Unfortunately, until that V5C booklet comes back from the DVLA, which could take 2 months, it doesn't matter what we do, this vehicle isn't fully uprated to 4.1 tons. So we can't do big journeys in Morgan until that's through. We can't do big adventures. We can't go travel to Europe, which is, we actually wanted to go traveling to Europe now. We're gonna have to delay that. So what we're gonna do next, by the next video, you'll know that our plans are going to be revealed hopefully in the next video, so please stay tuned to next week for that. But it doesn't look like for the time being it's going to be in Morgan, because we don't want to spend the rest of sort of autumn sort of worrying about weight. So leave that with us. Thank you for watching this update video. There's been a lot to share with you. Thank you for taking the time to watch it all. If you've got any questions or anything like that, leave them in comments, and we'll see you next time, because we're probably on the verge of going on a huge adventure, but it might not be in Morgan. Watch this space. See you next time.
Let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. You and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon, side by side and through